Hi, my name is Andrew Kinnear. I'm the founder of Freebruary. Thanks for joining us for this limited interview series with entrepreneurs from across Canada. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Duffy, and I'm the founder of Canada's Baking Box.
Stephanie, thanks for being here today on this interview. It's really great to have you as a part of Freebruary, and I'm looking forward to learning more about Canada's Baking Box. Why don't you start by telling us where you are, what city you're in?
I'm based in Toronto. Part-time, I'm in Collingwood. My sister lives there. So oftentimes subscribers will see me baking in my sister's kitchen, which is a lot nicer than mine. But for most of the time, CBB headquarters is in Toronto, Ontario.
And that's where you manufacture these boxes as well? That's where you put them together?
Yes. So I package everything in commercial kitchens, and the rest of the time, though, all Canada's Baking Box operations are in my apartment, my teeny tiny apartment. I package all of the boxes and ship everything out from here, and we do some local deliveries and stuff like that too.
Awesome. Why don't you tell me what goes into these boxes and why people should be excited about them?
Well, the boxes I think are very exciting because it's just one box that you need to make a particular recipe. You don't have to measure out ingredients. You don't have to go buy a big bag of flour at the store that you may not use up. Everything is ready to go, and you just need, milk, eggs, or butter. Sometimes you may not need anything at all. You might have everything you need in the box, and those items are usually things that people have in their kitchen anyway. So there's not a whole lot of preparation involved. And for the monthly subscribers, they also get the bonus of a professional tool that's suited to the recipe added in for them.
Awesome. Okay. So they get the ingredients, they get a tool. Do they know what's coming, or is it sort of a surprise every month as well?
Typically, it's a surprise. I do send out an email at the end of every month just to say, like, hey, coming up, for next month. Or we'll do little sneak peeks on Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, for the most part, it's the next few months are a surprise, which people seem to enjoy.
Yeah. I find baking at home. Just recently, I got into doing a little bit of baking, made some cookies and stuff. I find it frustrating, would be the way to describe it, when I'm working with my kids. When it's just me, I'm very efficient. I can blow through it, but it seems like this might be a great approach for baking with kids. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Absolutely. So I'm actually also a nanny. I've been a nanny for over 10 years, and I've worked with over 300 families. So I know kids very well, and I've baked with kids a lot. So I feel your frustration. And I'm also a little bit type A, so baking with kids is really it can be tough,
Mhm.
but this is great for them because they still get the experience. They still feel like they're doing something, but you don't have to deal with the mess of measuring kids measuring flour and, scooping out baking powder that ends up all over the kitchen. It's so easy. They can just dump everything in, and that's what they want to do, right? They
Yeah,
want to dump everything in the bowl.
that's amazing. How did you get started with this? What was the tipping point between, I like baking, I like cooking, I'm doing it at home, to I'm going to start a subscription box service, which is a very interesting business. It's I would say a relatively new business model that has
Mhm.
exploded in the last 5 years. Tell me how you went from not doing it to doing it.
Well, I had been working in in the kitchen at a cafe in Leaside, Toronto. So we did scratch baking, everything made in house, and I was running that kitchen for about 4 years, and then the pandemic hit, and yeah. And what I noticed is, of course, everybody was home and everybody started baking and cooking
Yes.
themselves, right?
Oh, I
Uh,
remember trying to get yeast for the bread machine at the
yeah,
in the first couple months, and it was, yeah, it was
couldn't.
hard to get.
you couldn't get it. And so people started making sourdough. Uh, so, things like that were going missing. You couldn't get flour, you couldn't get sugar. Um, but what I noticed on a commercial level is we didn't have the same kind of shortages as on a consumer level.
Mhm.
We might miss the flour one week, but we'd get it the next week. We were still functioning. And so then I started thinking about meal boxes and, HelloFresh and Chef's Plate. And I noticed that they weren't having shortages of food either. If I went to the store, I couldn't get broccoli, but they could get it. So then I thought, okay, well, do they have meal boxes for baking? So I started to do a bit of research there, and I found a ton in the United States, but I couldn't find any in Canada. And the thing is with food, shipping food, there's a lot of red tape.
Mhm.
So all of these baking boxes in the US wouldn't ship here. So then I was like, okay, so especially if I'm looking this up, I know that there are probably other people looking this up. So there's a need for this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, plus nothing would work here, right? Because it would all be in ounces and stuff. And so
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
why don't you? This is more of a business question, but is there something that you wish you knew before you started this business? Like it sounds like the baking side of it you had nailed. You
Hmm.
were scratch baking in Lee's side, but the business side, is there something that some nugget of wisdom that, oh, if only somebody had told me this, I could have saved, time or money or something like that? What's the biggest learning that you've had?
Oh my goodness. There has been so much because I am not a business person at all. I've worked in many different many different facets of business, but never really finance. So um and operational in retail, but not on a larger level. One thing that I wish I'd known a bit more about, or maybe even studied before I started, and I was too busy to kind of learn, and then you're learning on the go. Um, yeah, it's that's been the biggest learning curve for me, I think, is the marketing,
Mhm.
getting the word out there. Um, I have a lot of word of mouth, which is amazing. And that accounts for a large part of my business. But I find there's still so many people who just don't know that I exist.
Mhm.
Uh, so that's, when you're a
So awareness
small,
and trial becomes like really important.
exactly. Yeah.
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 Do you find the curve for your scaling is a little bit more gradual than maybe I'm thinking of some other entrepreneurs and even our own business.
Hmm.
For us to just get started, we have to buy 10,000 lids or a pallet worth of whatever, some ingredient. Do you find with the baking box you were able to kind of start small and gradually scale it, or was there some big investment up front that you had to do? And I would think like boxes and packaging would be a lot of it, right?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
versus ingredients, you can kind of buy as much or as little as you need to fill orders, but you
Hmm.
maybe to have a pretty box. I don't know, you tell me. Tell me what your scaling journey was like.
So for scaling, I started off super super small. I had, I think, 16 subscribers.
Mhm.
I think the first time I bought boxes, I had to buy maybe 200 at once, and but I found it wasn't too big of an investment. Um, and I was able to kind of buy things as I needed them, as you say, for ingredients, but luckily also for the packaging and um, also any, the recipe cards that I do
Mhm.
and anything like that. I was, yeah, able to start smaller. But then it was about 6 months after, and it was Christmas time, and then I started to do a lot more promotion,
Mhm.
Facebook ads and things like that, and then it really blew up. Like, I
Right
had,
around Christmas, like as people were giving it as a gift. I
yeah,
could see
yeah,
gifting being a huge part of your business.
yeah, it is, it's huge. It is very, yeah. It might account for, I would say, at least 50%.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, yeah. People love it, as a gift idea, and it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. I've got 3 and 6 month subscriptions, so people really see the value in that. And yeah, around Christmas time, the first Christmas was it was a lot. It jumped. I think I jumped from about maybe 35 subscribers to over 100.
Wow.
Um,
So that's a
so
lot of
that
boxes to make every month. But also the nice thing is, based on your subscriber numbers, you must know like, okay, I've got whatever it is, 100 boxes to make, and they've all got to go out on this day. So like planning, I guess, would be maybe a little easier to manage than say planning for even the bakery when you were working at the bakery. And it's like, you don't know if you're going to sell everything today and it's going to be busy, or if there's going to be a snowstorm and no one's going to buy anything. So like demand was maybe very elastic. Whereas in the subscription box, you can focus your marketing on getting subscribers, and then you can focus your operations on fulfilling for however many you have. That seems like at least a manageable stress versus a unknown crazy stress from a business point of view.
Yes, and that is exactly it. That's the good thing. So I've got a cutoff at the beginning of the month. Any orders after the 5th of the month, they have to go to next month's subscription,
Okay.
because I've got to I've got to plan this. And
Yeah.
I do make up the boxes as I have those orders. I don't make them ahead of time because I don't want anything sitting around, right?
Right.
So
And everything that goes into a box is like a shelf stable baking type thing.
yes,
So it's not like you're worried about an egg spoiling or something. Like your recipe
no,
would say add 1 egg or whatever. And
ex-
are there some options? Like if somebody wants vegan recipes or gluten-free, can they select different boxes, or tell me a bit about the product selection?
mhm. So for the product selection, we do have vegan. There's a vegan subscription. So every month there will be like a vegan alternative recipe. And we do have a couple of gluten-free options. Those are listed on the website. Personally, I haven't done a whole lot of gluten-free baking.
Mhm.
So I want to work on a little bit more of the development so that I can offer that, because I know that is definitely something people are looking for.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to veganize a recipe than it is to make it gluten-free, because the flour is a big part of any
Yeah.
recipe,
Oh, that's for
and
sure.
the chemical makeup. But yeah, I do have a couple of those options. Generally, our boxes are nut free. I don't add any nuts. If the recipe does call for it, it's optional, and then that's something that can be on the subscriber shopping list. I think we've only had that once though, and I don't certify that everything is 100% nut free, because I do work in a commercial kitchen where other businesses are present.
Right.
Um, though of course everything is triple sanitized, especially now.
For sure.
But I do have subscribers with nut allergies who use our boxes no problem.
And are you shipping coast to coast? Do you have subscribers all across Canada? That's amazing.
Hmm. Yep.
That's great. What's next for 2022 for Canada's Baking Box?
2022, I'm moving into some wholesale, and it's kind of separate label under the Canada's Baking Box umbrella called Tiny Pantry, and I'm working on getting some of those orders out now. So I'm going to be pushing that. I'm part of Canadian Women in Food, which I think you're aware of.
Yep.
Yeah, that group, and we've got a pavilion at the National Women's Show in May.
Great.
So that's going to be Canada's Baking Box's first trade show. It's very
You
exciting.
got to get good night's sleep the night before that. Trade shows
Yeah.
are you're on your feet the whole time. You're talking your
Mhm.
mouth off. You need a bottle of water. So yeah. Have you
Yeah.
done that kind of show before?
I've done it for a different business.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I worked for HMV, and we had a booth at Comic-Con a couple of years. So, but it was a bit different then, I think this is going to be
This
a
will be
lot more.
interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more talking, and I'm the owner and, the founder. So I'm also going to be doing a demo on stage.
Wow. Okay, that'll be really exciting.
Yeah.
Talk up your product. Don't be shy to sell what you do. I mean,
Yeah.
that'll be really great for you. I can
Yeah.
remember a marathon of a show. I did the Royal Winter Fair in
Oh,
2019,
yeah.
and it was 15 days, right? It's
Oh my
whatever
gosh.
it's, or
Yeah.
12 days, whatever it is. It was long,
Yeah.
day after day, first thing in the morning
Yeah.
till the evening. Man,
It's a long day.
that's a long, but so many people go to the Royal Winter Fair. So that's another good one to,
Yeah.
especially, it is in Toronto, but a lot of people come from all over Ontario with their horses and their big
Yeah.
vegetables or whatever. So it's a real good mix of people.
Hmm.
So anyway, Stephanie, this has been great. I really appreciate you taking a little bit of time and having a conversation with me about your business, and thanks for being a part of Freebruary this year. I hope a couple of people have discovered Canada's Baking Box on the site and maybe taken advantage of your deal.
They have, yes. Thank you,
Oh,
and thanks
great.
for having Canada's Baking Box. I was so excited to find out about Freebury, and I think it's a wonderful initiative. And yeah, hopefully it just gets bigger and bigger.
Awesome.